Alright everyone, here we are back again with another round in Dkayd's meta tourney. This is going to be the last round I have for this past tournament. This is where I get knocked out, and you guys are going to watch me get absolutely clapped. These are pretty short ones and pretty easy ones for my opponent. I am going second. My opponent won the coin flip as per usual, and their hand is just, I don't think they could have asked for a better hand. Grass plus called by for the Ash Blossom in my hand, plus a Gamma if they didn't have called by, Torrential Tribute to completely stop a lot of my plays, and a Max C to completely refill their hand after they set up their perfect board with a grass setup. So we can kind of get going, I guess. But yeah, my hand isn't great beyond that. Like, I do have the Ash for the grass, which I thought, oh yeah, this is going to line up great. And then they drop call by. I was like, okay, well, 60 card deck, and they just opened the perfect hand. What are you going to do, right? But other than that, my hand isn't great, but it has two dangers in it. So, like, typically two dangers are going to get you two more draws. And two more draws in the Spyral deck is usually enough to get there. Plus, you have two dangers on the field when that happens. But my opponent gets their grass resolved, and they're just going to do all this. They have their Eldlichs and their golden lands and all this. They have their Eldlich, and they can start banishing their like a Haquera or something to go get another Eldlichs, and Eldlichs will summon Balordock. And they obviously milled the monster that gets their zombie world into play on top of that. So they're functionally going to have a Haquero, a Conquistador. So Haquero is going to beat any of my foolish burials type plays where I get Master Plan in the graveyard. They'll just banish my Master Plan. They're going to have a Balordock as an Omni negate for anything. They have a Conquistador for any like my Spyral Resorts or Big Reds, anything like that. And then they have a Torrential Tribute on top of everything. And even if that wasn't enough, and that would almost certainly beat me no matter what, unless I just completely draw out of my mind, they also have Maxi, and I just can't beat Maxi without a Call by the Grave or an Ash Blossom in hand. Maybe maybe if I had read it and thought they had Call by the Grave, I could have kept it in my hand, but they would obviously just they would set Call by and use it on my turn. So you're going to see me like, just activate my dangers, but at this point, I know I've lost, because like my opponent's drawing every time I do anything of relevance. I'm going to like go into Spyral Resort, because my idea is like, if I can resolve the Spyral Resort and like over multiple turns, I can do like a bit of a grind game and outgrind my opponent. No, they have Conquistador. And even if they didn't have Conquistador, they have Balordock, so that plan was never going to work either. They could just banish it eventually. And every time I'm activating a danger, I'm like, okay, well, Nessie sniped itself, but who cares? Like, I'm going to get a Jackalope, and if Jackalope snipes itself again, who cares? Like, nothing I really do matters. Like, I can't even go into Curious at this point to get a Master Plan rotation, because all of my monsters are zombies, so they're not different types. And you're just going to see me concede there. Like, as I'm like playing these cards, I'm like, okay, my opponent's just drawing cards. I know they have a Aquero set, they have an Omni negate. They're going to have lethal next turn if they really want it, because they can just go into a bunch of Eldliches. This is just game. I'm just going to pack it up and go into game 2. Not a very interesting one, to be honest, but heck, your opponent just smashes you sometimes when they have all the right cards in the perfect hand, even if it's a low percentage hand for them. So yeah, let's get on to game 2. Okay, here we are back with game 2, and as you might notice, my opponent has another similar card in their hand that they had last game, and that is Maxi. So even though I'm going first here, because I don't have the Call by the Grave of the Ash Blossom in my hand, I am not going to be able to do what I normally do. So let's go ahead and get this started and get the misery over with. We get to watch my opponent completely clap me again. Funnily enough, their name's Destrudo, and I'm the one with Destrudo in hand. I'm going to open up with a Resort, and I was going to go for like a Drone Agent combo here, because Drone Agent combo with Destrudo in hand would be full combo. That's all I would need, and I've already got the Quick Fix in hand. My opponent ashes, which is fine, because I do have the second Resort here. But first I'm going to open up with Quick Fix just to get my Big Red out of my deck, because I know that's going to be my normal summon at this point, because I'm not going to be doing Drone Agent. My idea is going to be like get Destrudo into play, and then go into an Hawk, and Hawk can get Jet Synchron. Jet Synchron can discard Master Plan, and Master Plan would be able to get me into my full combo at that point because I have the Big Red. But my opponent plays Maxi on the activation of Super Agent. I maybe should have just not called any. I shouldn't have called Trap, because I didn't want that to resolve, but I don't think it matters at this point. I'm just going to go into a Link Cribbo. My idea here is I do need a monster in graveyard so my Resort doesn't pop itself. So I get Quick Fix in the graveyard, I still have my Resort in play. My idea is if my opponent's hand doesn't do a whole lot, if it's just a bunch of Eldritch traps, I can potentially outgrind them with Spyral Resort. But then my opponent draws Grass is Greener. So my opponent in 2 straight games drew Ash Maxi, or not Ash Maxi, but Interruption Maxi, Grass is Greener, and that is just not something I can beat. They do the Eldlich setup, obviously, Eldland, get Eldlich send the Resort. So I wasn't going to be able to play the grind game, but I still had a lot of play opportunity here. I still had the Destrudo play, because if my opponent just summons an Eldlich and tries to attack, I have Link Cribbo for it, but unfortunately they also had the Ash, and Ash plus the summoned Eldlich is Hawk, and they get to do an entire Hawk Auroradon combo line here that gets them into VFD. I mean, I don't know why VFD is legal. I don't know why it was ever legal in Master Duel. I guess it was legal for a small period of time in the OCG that the Master Duel was making their card selection pool or something. I don't know. I don't like it. I also don't even like Auroradon. I think that card, either that card or Hulk, should be long gone. But, you know, they obviously they're going to be playing good cards. Why wouldn't they? It's Auroradon package is super free in an Eldlich 60-card grass deck. You know, throwing in a single Jet Synchron ain't a big deal, and a single O-Line, who cares? Though they do, that's why they didn't play grass yet. They obviously didn't want to mill their O-line off their grass. They wanted to set up this combo, so they're gonna like do all this first and then grass. And the grass is like, I could actually maybe survive a VFD. You know, if I drew a Forbidden Droplets on my next turn, I could in response to the VFD, because they're not Virtual World, right? They don't have a Chu-Chi to respond to this. I could send my Master Plan with Forbidden Droplets, negate their VFD, and I could actually kind of play from there a little bit, right? I could summon a Master Plan, put her in defense mode, and my opponent would have to attack over it, and like, you know, they wouldn't have the best setup here, but because my opponent also has the grass, I'm just SOL. They're also drawing a bunch of cards off Coral Dragon and Croco Dragon and all this stuff, and they're even going to be able to set up a Shin to banish my Super Agent, so I don't even have Destrudo plays anymore, right? So that kind of takes that out of the running. And yeah, they're just going to attack me, and go into VFD. And after they get into VFD, they're going to activate the Grass is Greener, which is going to set up everything. It's going to get them a Zombie World, it's going to get them a Balordock, it's going to get them the entire array of Eldlich trap cards, and an Eldlich, obviously, with an Eldlixir. And that's just all they really need. I can't compete against that. Normally, I can't compete against VFD in general. You know, you just need Forbidden Droplets. That's your only out at that point, because they could just attack you over 2 turns when I'm already at 51 here with VFD. But you know, a Balordock and a Zombie World and a Conquistador, and probably they should be getting a Haquero or something here, right? Yeah, there's a Haquero, and they actually don't have the Eldlixir, but oh yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah, I was about to say they definitely get the Eldlixir. They have all those cards in graveyard. So yeah, Eldlixir, Haquero, Conquistador, Balordock, Zombie World, VFD, Ice Dragon's Prison on top of all that. And as you can see, I just go ahead and concede. You know, like, I didn't draw a card that outs the VFD, and that alone was enough to make me concede. And that's tournament life, man, with no sideboard available. You know, that just absolutely crushes you. You know, your opponent max sees you twice, even with a 60-card deck. They're always drawing max C. It sucks, and it's the most powerful card in the format for a reason, and that's why you run Ash and Called by the Grave. So you know, if I had either of those cards in that hand, I would have won. There's no way they resolved any of that crap through even just one negate and a sleeper on me, but that was enough to beat me there, and that's how you get knocked out of a tournament sometime. I thought it was kind of sad, because normally I consider Eldlich a very good matchup for Spyral. Spyral is very good at just picking apart control decks that like rely on back row, especially because cards like Spyral Resort and Rescue Mission and Super Agent and the Nightmare Link Climbing are so good against, you know, cards like Conquistador, that cards like Haquero, cards like Eldlich. It's just a really solid deck at handling those kind of decks. But sometimes your opponent just draws Maxi. Maxi's real good. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. You know, sometimes it's fun to get my ass kicked too. You know, it wouldn't be, the game would be no fun if I always won, right? And sometimes you even get beat by decks you're good against. So yeah, you know, if you like the games, if you like the little tournament recap, go ahead and throw a like, comment, subscribe, anything like that. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.